What's up, Bulls Nation? This is the Bloody Horns Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Let's get into the daily content. So it's another day, another Lonzo Ball workout video. And I don't want to rain on you guys' parade. I really don't. We all want to see Lonzo back healthy. 70% Lonzo is still better than a fully healthy Javon Carter. 70% Lonzo can still contribute something to this team. He's smart enough as a basketball player that if physically he's a little compromised, I think he can work through it. But this doesn't impress me, guys. He should be able to dunk. So I'm going to talk to you guys as a very experienced person when it comes to meniscuses. One, I've torn both my meniscuses. One of them they were able to repair. The other one, I tore it twice, and on the second time, they just removed it. There's something like 10% of it left in my knee, and they pretty much told me when I get older, I'm going to have arthritis, I'm going to have tendonitis, all that stuff. It doesn't really bother me too much. It's been about 7 years since they did that. And sometimes I land wrong on it, or if I run longer than like 5 miles, then it'll flare up a little bit. But for the most part, I can get through life feeling pretty good with my knees. If you guys follow me on my business page, my training page, you see I do 44-inch box jumps. I'm running hill sprints regularly. I'm still moving pretty athletically. Like I've said many times, I competed as a professional fighter for 15 years. Your body goes through wear and tear. I've had every knee injury imaginable, so I can relate to Lonzo on some level. Obviously, I'm not a professional basketball player. My body doesn't need to go through the rigors of that like Lonzo's will need to, but I understand knee injuries better than most. And I'm an athletic trainer. I'm a certified athletic trainer. I deal with injuries all the time. So when I talk about injury recovery, specifically in knee injuries, please believe me, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. So these Lonzo videos, they're not that impressive to me because when it comes to the meniscus, here's what people got to understand. The meniscus very rarely robs you of your straight end, top end speed, like a 40-yard dash type of speed. Very rarely does it rob you of that. And very rarely does it rob you of your vertical. For the most part, you are still able to go front and back, up and down just fine. It's the side-to-side movement, the lateral movement, the change of direction, the cutting. That's where you feel the most compromised. That's where your body doesn't work right. Dwayne Wade, he had the same procedure I had where they removed his meniscus, and it took about 10 years for him to really start feeling the wear and tear of that. And he would still have flashes, like flashes of the old Flash, even when his knees were kind of gone. But it wasn't side-to-side flashes. It was him jumping over somebody, him dunking on somebody, him going straight up and down. It's the side-to-side movement that compromised him, and that's what robbed Dwayne Wade of his game, because when he was at his peak, he was so special side-to-side, so special in those spaces, going left to right, getting to the hoop, getting to his spots, stuff like that when he lost just a little bit of that, it really affected his game. So Lonzo, he should be able to dunk. He should, if we see any sprint videos of him, which I still haven't seen, if we see any just straight end sprint videos, he should still look pretty fast. It's the lateral movement that I'm worried about, because Lonzo, what makes him special is his high basketball IQ, his vision, stuff like that, which you would think would still be intact in spite of the years off, in spite of all the knee injuries. But what also made him special was the defensive end, man. His lateral movement on the defensive end. He was able to cover a lot of ground and mix that with his high basketball IQ to be one of the better defenders in the NBA and to revolutionize the Chicago Bulls defense. Our defense has not been the same since we lost Lonzo. Now, if you guys remember what it was like when we had Lonzo out there and Caruso out there, it was special times, man. So that's what I'm most concerned about when it comes to Lonzo Ball coming back. Is cool, man. You can dunk, you can move up and down. Can you move side to side? Because if you've lost that lateral ability to move side to side and to cover that much ground on the defensive end, then you're just not as special of a player as you were before. And to be fair, I don't expect Lonzo Ball to be the Lonzo Ball that we last saw in a Bulls uniform. When he comes back, I expect him to be about 70%. I expect him to be an adequate defender, not a special defender. I expect him to know where to go on offense, to know where to get the ball on offense, to be able to hit his spot up threes, stuff like that. Things that we still need. We could use an adequate defender at the point guard position. And Lonzo Ball, keep in mind, he is still 6'7". So when he comes back, he doesn't necessarily have to be a point guard. Sean Livingston, when he came back, it wasn't like he was really a point guard with the Warriors when he was being effective again. He was 6'7". He was able to play 3-guard lineups with him, Curry, Klay Thompson. Who knows? Maybe we see some type of evolution like that out of Lonzo. What could help Lonzo is Sean Livingston was never the 3-point shooter that Lonzo is. So Lonzo should still have a spot in this league for a very long time. With his size, if he's even 70% of the defender he once was, we can definitely run 3-guard lineups with a mix of him, Caruso, Kobe, and Ayo. We can still have very effective 3-guard lineups with a 6'7" Lonzo out there. So, like I said, I don't want to rain on you guys' parade, but this video, it doesn't get me that excited, and it makes me want to remind you guys that we got to temper our expectations for Lonzo when he comes back. I still don't think he's going to be ready for opening night. I know he said he's going to be ready for opening night. I've talked to doctors, and they've all said the earliest to expect him back would be like January. So I'm gonna believe the doctors, man. I like that Lonzo's confident in his body. I like that he's optimistic. I take it with a grain of salt. So let me know in the comments what you guys expect from Lonzo and when you expect to see him again.